Well, hello, Jackie. Thank you for joining me today. This is Quentin from JC Candidates and talking with Jacque Gerdes, who's incumbent school board member in Junction City, running for reelection to what's your seat number again?
Seat number 6.
Okay, seat number 6. Just to start out, would you mind talking about what your goals would be as a returning school board member in the next term, next 4 years?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you, Quentin, with no voters pamphlet out for this election. And it's a big, hot school board election. It's important that you provided this service to the community to make some informed choices. I think that's really important.
Thank you.
You know, the board is a policy board, so just because I want to get certain things accomplished doesn't necessarily mean that that will be the vision of the board. However, that's why it's important that all of us are looking at the entirety of the board and deciding who's the best to be on that so we can collaborate together, set the vision and the policies of the school district, and then follow through with that vision and policies being in practice with the superintendent and the staff. Personally, I've been honored to be a member of the JC School Board since 2003. My reasons never changed of why I'm there. I'm there for the kids, trying to do everything I can to see that every student gets that kind of well-rounded education they need to engage them to learn their best, to inspire them to find their purpose, and to educate them for success both in and after school, but also give them the tools and resources they need to be that kind, prepared, and responsible citizens in the future. And so with that said, you know, big changes on the horizon for our district. I believe my knowledge and experience and relationships that I've built with staff and stakeholders will be super important as we transition to a new superintendent, elect new board members. I think it's going to be important that first and foremost that it'll be important to work together to keep our schools open as much as possible, to help our students really recover from this last year. It's been tough on them. It's been tough on their families. It's been tough on staff and our communities. So being there to help our students in every way we can recover, both educationally and socially, emotionally, is going to be important. We'll need to support our staff to be able to offer that kind of really important personalized and equitable supports so that every child really gets the support they need for success as they're trying to kind of catch up and get to where they need to go. I'd really like to see increasing career technical offerings, college courses in school, electives to engage and inspire each student to find their spark. We'll most likely be seeing some budget recovery needing to happen from COVID-19, I would assume. We'll need to proactively get ready for growth in our schools and plan for upgrades to our facilities to be able to accommodate that growth. We'll need to assure that our schools are welcoming, safe, and respectful to every student, and that's huge, and continue the important equity work that we've been doing to assure that every student gets that support they need for success. We need to work together as a team, really to collaborate and make sure that we're all in this together as board, staff, community, stakeholders, to assure that everyone is on the same page to help us reach the goal of really what's best for our kids. Okay, that was a long list.
Well, I'll touch on one thing you mentioned there, which is the growing community. Of course, Junction City is a growing community, more so than any other community in the region.
Yeah.
And that growing enrollment is going to change the school system.
Yep.
And what is your vision for a growing Junction City school system? What would you like to see changing or different, and what are the challenges that you think are going to face the schools that we need to be prepared for?
I think, well, first and foremost, the growing population need. We've been planning for potential growth in our district really in a proactive way for the last several years. we thought it was going to just boom, and then it kind of leveled out, kind of went down a little bit, and now we're seeing that, it looks like we're seeing that boom with a lot of new building. We've done population studies, went out for a successful bond for needed upgrades in our high school and the other schools. We've leveraged as many grants and resources as we could to make other facility upgrades, and have already started planning for the next phase of our bond work to help with future growth in our lower grades. So probably trying to go out and do a bond for a new Laurel Elementary. Several years ago, we went out for that bond to replace Laurel Elementary, which is one of the oldest and most crowded schools that we have, but the bond didn't pass because the community wanted to assure that the new elementary school wasn't going to be built on Laurel's ball fields that the community uses a lot. So we went out and started the purchase of a piece of land for a potential bigger grade school. And until then, we got some new portable classrooms where the new apartments, when the new apartments started going up, and now we're doing the same thing with Oakley. Trying to get people spread out in socially distance right now, but as kids start coming back to school, that'll be important as we go forward with new facilities. We've always tried to be very mindful about tax liability for patrons. So we would like to wait until the high school bond is almost paid off so taxes can hopefully stay below that average for most districts like we have been doing all along. So with the growth, I think that, facilities are the biggest thing. As far as just kind of, what was your second part of that question? Kind of what kind of changes or?
Yeah, what else would you like to? Are there any other changes you'd like to see as the enrollment and the budgets grow at Junction City schools?
I think we're paid through ADM per student and the types of services we're providing to each student. So as our population goes up, our funds go up, but those funds are specifically directed toward providing the kinds of services and educational supports that each kid needs. So as far as, with that kind of, with financial, I don't know if we'll be seeing a lot of financial growth because most likely we'll be seeing a downturn in the budget with COVID-19 economic structures. But, as our enrollment increases, I'd love to be able to see more programs for kids. I'm really proud of the accomplishments that we've made in our district. I'm proud that we have always found, even with the lowest economic downturns, we've always found a way to keep K-12 science, art, music, PE, counseling, after-school programs, even through the financial toughest times. And I'd want to keep those. I'm glad we could offer and add more college technical and college courses, or career technical and college courses to the high school, as well as offering college and career coach that assists students really to get a record amount of resources every year for college trades and internships for students after they graduate. We're among a few districts that have our own psychologist, SRO, life skills program for students with significant disabilities. I'm proud of our really hardworking professional staff with their huge hearts for our students, especially grateful for everything they did during the pandemic, and looking forward to, what kinds of flexibility and creativity they'll continue to have to do as we get folks caught up from COVID. As more students come in, we don't know of what their ability levels will be, what their spark, what their interests will be. So it'll be important to really look at each kid. I'm excited that we've been supporting our professional learning communities for a while. That's what we do with our early release time on Wednesdays to make sure that staff can really go through and make a plan for every child to provide, make sure that every kid's getting the equitable services and supports they need, and that'll be important in the wake of COVID-19. I'll be excited to see us expand course offerings in middle school, high school, use college career coach and grad coaches to jumpstart opportunities for kids. I'm excited to be able to continue to update our facilities, but and also really get that, any kinds of opportunities for kids that we can engage them and inspire them to hook them and stand in school with activities and different kinds of course offerings. That'll be important.
Great. And on a more general note, what do you think makes a good school board member, and what are the duties of a school board member to you?
That's a good question, Quentin. And I think every school board is trying to figure that out on their own as well. To me, personally, I've been working hard at the school board, and the things that I've been doing to try to show my commitment to the board is really having the passion for assuring that every student gets the tools and opportunities they need to succeed in their future. That's in my heart, and I think that should be in the heart of all our school board members. That should be the reason why we're all here, right? For the kids, and so I guess, I'm not a politician. I don't think this is a job for a politician. I'm a mom of 4 kids who've gone through JC schools. I'm an active volunteer in every single school and have been for 27 years, since my oldest son was little. And I think it's important for board members to stay active in both schools, so that they're there. They know what's going on. They see the magic that happens when teachers are doing their craft, but also can see the needs and can hear the needs when there are certain things that need to be done differently or supports that people need to make sure we're giving the best to our kids. So I think that's important. I've listened to students, staff, families. I go to places where there's a diverse group of community members, and I listen about, what could make our schools better and how could we serve our students better. I think it's important to collaborate with the entire team, because the board is a policy board. We set policies, we help set that vision, but we really need to trust the knowledge, the professionalism, the education of our staff. We've hired a new superintendent that has lots of experience. We have very professional, knowledgeable, hardworking staff in every single level of our district, from admin staff to IAs and cooks, and who are preparing meals for thousands of kids and families. And so we need to listen to them about what they need for their job. We need to collaborate with them, and we need to show them that we appreciate them, because as a school district, they are the service we're providing to our students. And so we need to invest in, best practice trainings. We need to invest in our staff so they can invest best practices into our kids, to provide the best supports we can give them, the best education we can give them. I myself, I attend board trainings. I try to do ongoing kind of training and education in the education realm and board realm, so that I know the roles and responsibilities that we have as board members and how we can support our educational staff and those practices. I'm currently working on our equity committee in our schools. I think it's important as a board member to be active in our schools and to, again, kind of listen and be part of that as both a stakeholder and as a board person. So I'm active in our equity team, making sure that kind of we're all working together to make sure that our schools have that culture. of really being where every student feels safe, supported, seen, um, and welcomed. And I think that's important as a board member. I think, the board needs training so that we all know our roles and responsibilities and can let the people who we're hiring for certain things provide those services, and we can provide the services we can. As a board, we can't come in to being on the board with an agenda or even a partisanship, because the board really is about being a nonpartisan board of lots of different people. So I feel like the board needs to represent our community, so that every student, family, group in our community feels like they have a seat at the table and that they are being represented in decisions that we're making as a board. Um, I think the board needs to use our equity lens so that to make sure that any decisions that we're making with resources or in education, that we're making sure that those are the best decisions that we're making for every student, not just a certain group of students. That we're having every student in mind and every group represented in some way.
Is there anything else that you'd like to say about the election or would like voters to know?
Um, I believe that this election is an important one. Um, I believe that right now we really need to support our students, our families, our community, our staff, um, to all come together really for the good of each other, and most of all for the good of our students. The outlook of our board is important, and having lots of different groups represented is important. Lots of different perceptions, lots of different backgrounds, lots of different, education and experiences, I think is important on the board. So I think it's very important. This is the first time we've had such a large candidate pool, and I'm excited about that we have people in the community who are excited to be a part of school. Um, since I've been on the board, I think that, the most important part that we can impart as school board members is that it really isn't about anything that we want as people or in our view of the world. It's about what really is best for every student. Um, I'm a mom of four. I've been in the schools volunteering. I also work for I've worked with individuals with significant disabilities my whole adult life, getting them jobs and providing the supports they need for their success. I also coordinate an educational sponsorship program and kind of a small micro loan program for small businesses and families in Ethiopia, and that's where my youngest son is from. I have many years of experience in finance and budgeting and funding of nonprofits. I've set up 2 nonprofits and still manage those. And I think that my experience with all of that, as well as my school experiences, would be crucial right now with so many changes going on in our school district. I think that with all those changes, it would be good to have somebody who has been there with the knowledge and experience in all of the things that the board needs to do. I want people to know that, again, I'm not a politician that's been on the board for a long time. I'm somebody who's been on the board for a long time because I have a passion for kids, and I have a passion for our community, because whatever we're teaching the kids is what our community becomes. And I think this is a telling time.
Okay, well, thank you, Jackie. I appreciate you taking the time to talk with me and share this information about you with the voters.
Thank you so much, Quentin. Appreciate it.